Now more on developing news, the cold cases. Who is number 18? Today, a grave in Wrentham was unearthed in an attempt to answer a question that's gone unanswered for 50 years.
Our Kim Kalunian was there as state police and medical examiners exhumed the remains. She joins us now with more on that process. Kim?
Yeah, Kayla and Sarah, it's not every day that investigators tell us exactly when they will be exhuming a grave like this one, but today that was the case. So we got to be here from start to finish. Around 10 o'clock this morning, they began digging, and only about a foot down, they found what they were looking for, but not exactly what they expected. The cemetery's manager knew these remains were buried back in 1976, so he thought maybe they would come across a plastic container. He didn't think they would find what they did, a polystyrene box filled with dirt and a plastic bag of bones. Those bones were originally found back in 1974 in the woods here in Wrentham, and after sitting in a state crime lab for 2 years with no answers, they were interred here at Wrentham Center Cemetery, marked only by the number 18. The cemetery's manager pushed for their exhumation, and today that happened.
It still had integrity. It still had,
it didn't fall through
at the top. Like it was definitely a little bit sunken down in the middle, you know, but it was still in place. It wasn't broken. So now it's just a matter of identifying the skeleton within, you know. So we're pretty excited about it.
And just over an hour ago, state police were back on the scene with the medical examiner's office because they actually found a skull in that hole as they were about to fill it back in. So it's unclear if that skull is connected to those other remains that they found earlier. Those remains are now headed to the medical examiner's office for testing, where they hope to pull a DNA profile so they can figure out who this person was.
And Kim, we know 2 hikers found the bones in the woods near Lake Pearl. Were there any clues at the time?
Yeah, there were limited clues, Kayla. One of the biggest ones was a gold ring that had black onyx and diamonds on it. That was according to newspaper reports from the time. There was also a noose and some black sneakers and an empty wallet. But we know that there have been big breaks in cases like this one, thanks to developments in something called forensic genetic genealogy, where they can take that DNA and essentially make a family tree to try and figure out who this person was. Now, even though 50 years have passed since that body was discovered, the person, one of the hikers who found it, still remembers that day very vividly. We'll hear from him coming up tonight at 5. Sarah and Kayla.
The cold cases. Who is number 18? At 4, we showed you how Massachusetts State Police unearthed a Wrentham gravesite today in an effort to identify a skeleton found more than 50 years ago.
Now we're hearing from one of the men who made that grisly discovery. 12 News reporter Kim Kalunian has been in Wrentham all day and joins us now with what investigators discovered today. Kim?
Well, Shannon and Mike, it was not what investigators expected to find here at Center Cemetery. They unearthed a polystyrene box containing a plastic bag of bones. Hopefully, though, enough evidence to get them the answers they're seeking to a mystery that started more than 50 years ago.
It was a totally different world back then.
Naif Roger was just a young man in 1974.
We used to go fishing down here all the time because they stocked the lake.
Good fishing.
So we were only in our 20s, so we'd go fishing down here all the time.
Lake Pearl lies just off Route 140 in Wrentham, and on April 20th, 1974, Roger and a friend decided to ditch their fishing rods and hunt through the woods for antique bottles instead. They didn't find any of those, but they did find something else.
I seen the skull. It was a skull. It was black sneakers right near it. I said, oh, and I opened up with the bottle fork, and there was foot bones in there.
The Woonsocket Call newspaper reported the news 2 days later, and 2 years later, investigators were still unable to say who those bones belonged to, so they were buried.
This is Wrentham Center Cemetery. The oldest cemetery in the town of Wrentham.
Raymond Rose manages the cemetery where the bones were interred, marked only by a number, 18. Over a year ago, he stumbled upon this record for the grave.
Under U for unidentified was the card for an unidentified skeleton. So, being naturally curious as I am, I took that to the next step.
He began researching and eventually, with the help of the town's historical commission, got the state to look into the case. On Monday, members of the state police and medical examiner's office exhumed the bones, finding them inside a plastic bag protected by a polystyrene box. Not what they expected.
We talked about wood, right?
I was thinking heavy-duty plastic.
The remains were taken to the medical examiner's office in hopes they can work with a lab to make a DNA profile and find the person's family.
I'm pretty confident that they'll come up with a viable DNA sequence. Whether there's a match, it's anybody's guess.
Roger, who went on to become a police officer in neighboring Franklin, believes a vehicle he spotted a few years before the gruesome discovery could be a vital clue.
If they could find out about that car that was parked there, and if they could find the log item about the plate number, and if they when they towed it, they might be able to find who it was.
And just a couple of hours ago, state police and the medical examiner's office were back on scene here because they discovered a skull in the same hole that they dug up this morning as they were about to fill it in. It's unclear if that skull is connected to these other remains. It's also unclear just how long this DNA testing process will take. Live in Wrentham, I'm Kim Kalunian, 12 News.